Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to our Tafseer class. We're doing the kitab known as Tafseer al-Qurtubi of Imam al-Qurtubi rahimahullah, and we're still dealing with the Tafseer of Surah al-Mutaffifin. So without delays, let's begin. Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. So we're starting from this point here on page 150 of volume 22. This is قوله تعالى إن الأبرار لفي نعيم على الأرائك ينظرون تعرف في وجوههم نضرة النعيم يسقون من رحيق مختوم ختامه مسك وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون ومزاجه من تسنيم عينا يشرب بها المقربون. Now, this batch of ayat that we're doing over here are we're shifting from where previously Allah was condemning the practices of tatfif and then the rejection of the kuffar, the rejection of Allah and things of the sort, and reminding them about the day of Qiyamah and speaking about Qiyamah and the stuff which comes along with it. Then Allah shifts over. Now, for them who are in punishment and things, that stay aside. Now, for everything, there's two sides, the good and the bad. So that what are for the people of badness and evil. Now Allah shifts to speaking about the good people. What is their situation in the year after? So Allah starts out, Innal abrar lafi na'im, that verily the abrar is plural of the word, birrun abrar, pious, in English as pious for both, but it's singular and plural. Abrar means the pious people. So the pious, the righteous ones, where will they be? Lafi na'im. They will be in na'im. Na'im literally means pleasure. There's also one of the levels of Jannah known as Jannatun Na'im. So are they in Jannatun Na'im, or are they simply in Na'im? Because when you are in Jannah, by default already you are in a state of pleasure, but adding on in Jannah in a state of pleasure is extra emphasis. But okay, that's for the tafsir perspective. We leave that till we get there. So the righteous people will be in na'im. I leave it as such. على الأرائك ينظرون. They will be on couches. ينظرون. They will be looking, observing, free to look around and things, laying around, that sort of thing. At ease, in other words. Then not only just that, تعرف في وجوههم نظرة النعيم. You will be able to see and recognize in their faces the نظرة النعيم, the radiance, the brightness, the light of na'im. Now, that, let's put it this way, the happiness of being in the pleasure of Jannah, or being in that particular level of Jannah. But like I say, we get into that when we get to that point in the tafsir. يسقون من رحيق مختوم. They will be given drink which is from رحيق مختوم, which is a pure wine, not alcohol, Heineken and Bavaria and all these type of Castle Lager, yeah, and these type. It's not this type of dirt that stinks, that makes you drunk. It's not this type of filthy of this world. It is pure, which is makhtum, which is sealed. Now, what is sealed? The next ayah clarifies it. Khitamuhu misk. It is makhtum, it's khitam, its seal is musk. So the seal of it, or in other words, when you drink, in today people have when they foodies, let's put it this way. So they drink something and then they say, the after effect, you drink it and then maybe after you eat something and then you get a burn. So in this case here, you drink it, which is sweet, it's not intoxicating or anything, and it leaves you with a taste of musk in your mouth. That's what it is. Khitamuhu misk. Then Allah says, وَفِي ذَلِكَ. So for this Jannah and these na'im, these pleasures and favors that Allah has prepared therein, فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. Let the competitors compete. And I gave a short audio on that topic just last month, I believe. And then, but anyway, وَمِزَاجُهُ مِن تَسْنِيم. And its mixture, the mixture of it is of tasneem. Once again, tasneem will be explained in the tafsir. عينا يشرب بها المقربون. It is the ومزاجه من تسنيم. عينا Tasneem is the spring, the name of the spring, but anyway, so it is a spring from which the muqarrabun will drink. In other words, those who are close to Allah because of their high rank, they will be given to drink from the spring of Tasneem. So that's the verbatim-ish type translation of the ayat. Now let's move on to the tafsir. قوله تعالى إن الأبرار أي أهل الصدق والطاعة. Who are the أبرار? Firstly, he says, Allah Ta'ala says, إن الأبرار, verily the أبرار, the pious ones. He says, أهل الصدق والطاعة, the people of truthfulness. صدق here means truthfulness in accepting the commands of Allah and accepting and submitting to all of the requirements of the deen, like a siddiq, that a siddiq, yeah. والطاعة, and those who are obedient to Allah. In other words, the pious people, as we put it in simple terms. لفي نعيم, they will be in نعيم, أي نعمة, والنعمة بالفتح التنعيم, يقال نعمه الله ونعمه فتنعم, وامرأة منعمة ومناعمة بمعنى. So he says نعيم. What is نعيم? نعيم is نعمة, and نعمة with a fatha is التنعيم. Then he gives it linguistically, نعمه الله ونعمه فتنعم, that Allah gives a person pleasure and thus he is pleased. And he now shows it in the feminine form, works the same way. أي إن الأبرار في الجنات يتنعمون, that verily the pious people will be in gardens in Jannah. يتنعمون, they will be in pleasure with everything that Allah has given them. على الأرائك وهي الأسرة في الحجار. And the أرائك, it is like أسرة, sarirun, asirra, like beds fil hijab. So like you have these like recliners, we would put it in our terms today. Not something that you're not sitting on a chair, sitting back in a chair, but rather it's like those when you can recline on your big bed type couch. That is what it is. على الأرائك ينظرون, they will be looking, gazing, observing. إلى ما أعد الله لهم من الكرامات. They will be looking at what? They will be looking at that which Allah has prepared for them of the karamat. Would mean like miracles, but in the context here, obviously it's not miracles, because it means here the favors that Allah has prepared all for them. So if you are a person who so you have people and they are rich, and then they've got a room full of their valuables, and then they go inside and they gaze at everything like this. All of this here is all mine. But here in the case, you are in Jannah, you are reclining, you are eating, fruit is coming to you. When you stretch your hand out, the tree comes to you, you wish for something, your chicken tikka falls right next to you, that sort of thing. And then you're looking still around and you're like, this garden and all of this, and the rivers that flowing and everything all belongs to me. And this is not the fishes in the sea belong to me, and the birds in the sky belong to me. Yeah, we're not talking about people making senseless claims like that in this world, but in that on that day when you are in Jannah, and that Jannah is all yours, and you wanted animals and Allah has given you your animals, and your horse is made out of rubies and stuff, all of the sort here, then you see all of these na'im, these favors that Allah has favored you with. So that's what you are gazing at, the things that Allah has granted to you. قاله عكرمة وابن عباس ومجاهد رضي الله عنهم. This is stated by Imam Mujahid, Imam Ikrima, and Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas رضي الله عنهما. وقال مقاتل ينظرون إلى أهل النار. Imam Muqatil has got a bit of a different opinion. He says they will be looking now at the people of Jahannam. So instead of looking at the favors that Allah has favored them with, they'll be looking at, oh, you Jahannami over there, you said, what's the point of being a Muslim and all of this? Well, there you are roasting like a kebab in Jahannam. That's your problem now. So they'll be looking at, like today they say point and laugh, but in this case, now it's really like, you really can point and laugh You were the one who were trying to get us to leave Islam and to follow your way. Today, look where we are and look where you are. There you are being roasted in Jahannam, and here we are in the pleasure that Allah has granted to us. So that's Imam Muqatil's tafsir. وعن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ينظرون إلى أعدائهم في النار. ذكره المهدوي. Imam al-Mahdawi, he mentions that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that people will look at their enemies in Jahannam. So, obviously, it doesn't mean if you were an enemy of a Muslim, your Muslim is going to be in Jahannam. No, it means here the Muslims, here you were a kuffar fighting against the Muslims, trying to, all the Hitlers and the Queen Elizabeths of this world and all these type of people, enemies of Islam, and they die upon their kufr, and then they are there in Jahannam, and you're looking at them enjoy the burn, let's put it that way. So they look at the enemies. You put us through so much difficulty in this world. You killed our people. Thousands of Muslims, ulama alone, forget about Muslims just, but thousands of ulama alone were killed in India by the British Empire. So then they can be looking there and say, okay, now all of you who were busy killing the Muslims, now there you are having your just desserts in Jahannam. وقيل على أرائك أفضاله ينظرون إلى وجهه وجلاله. Okay, another opinion over here is that على الأرائك ينظرون. A third opinion is that they will be on these couches of theirs reclining, looking, but looking at what? They will be looking at the face and the grandeur of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. So those are three opinions given with regards to it. قوله تعالى تعرف في وجوههم نظرة النعيم أي بهجته وغضارته ونوره. So Allah says you will you will be able to see in their faces the nadrat al-na'im. Nadra, so he says bahja, like the luster, the light, the shine, how their faces shine. يقال نظر النبات إذا زهر ونور. That when you use it linguistically, nabat means like the crops, that the crops has nadara. You have it in the hadith نظر الله امرأ سمع مقالتي فوعاها فأداها كما سمع فرب مبلغ أوعى من سامع أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام, translated often as may Allah ennoble the face of the one who hears my hadith and he protects it and he preserves it and he passes it on to the next generation without exactly as he heard it, without changing anything. Then فَرُبَّ مُبَلَّغٍ أَوْ عَامٍ سَامِعٍ, because how often is it not that the one that is فَرُبَّ حَامِلِ فِقْهٍ غَيْرُ فَقِيهٍ, as the other version of the hadith mentions, because in other words, the person who takes a hadith from you can be more understanding of it than you. The person who carries the knowledge may not be a faqih. Different versions of the hadith, but anyway, the point I'm quoting it for is nadara. So he's using it here, nadara nabat, that the let's put it this way, the fruit on the tree has uh, bloomed now, or the flowers have bloomed, or the fruit is now ready, that sort of thing. It's there in its full perfect form. إذا زهر ونور, when it has come out, it's ripe, it's fresh, it's ready. وقراءة العامة تعرف بفتح التاء وكسر الراء نظرة نصبا أي تعرف يا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. وقرأ أبو جعفر بن القعقاع ويعقوب وشيبة وابن أبي إسحاق تعرف بضم التاء وفتح الراء على الفعل المجهول نظرة رفعا. So in other words, so تعرف في وجوههم نظرة النعيم, or تعرف في وجوههم نظرة النعيم. Pure linguistics between the two. تعرف, you recognize. تعرف, it is recognized. You are seeing, it is seen. So that's the difference between تعرف and تعرف. And if it is تعرف, then it forces this word here to have a dhamma. And if it is تعرف, then this word here will have a fatha. So نظرة, if it's تعرف, نظرة, if it is تعرف. But in any case, so he says the general qira'ah that we all recite is ta'rifu, with the fatha on the ta, and الكسرة on the ra تعريف, and نظرة وفتحة on the ta, meaning you, O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you will see the pleasure in and the brightness on their faces on that day. And Imam Abu Ja'far ibn al-Qaqa, Imam Yaqub, and Imam Shayba, and Imam Ibn Abi Ishaq, they recited as tu'arafu fi wujuhim nadratun na'im. Now whether this is one of the qira'at, I do not know. Like I always state, I am not a qari. I do not know what is the difference between the qira'at, what are the mashhur qira'at, which are from the shadh qira'at. Thus, whether it is something you can recite or not, that is something you have to go and study, and you can confirm with one of the Qurra which is which, and then they would be able to say, yes, this is found in the Qira of Imam Susi, Imam, Abu Amr, whatever. But nonetheless, I leave that for the Qurra. Okay, yeah, that was that point. Then يسقون من رحيق, they will be given to drink from رحيق, أي من شراب لا غش فيه. وقال الأخفش والزجاج وقيل الرحيق الخمر الصافية وفي الصحاح الرحيق صفوة الخمر والمعنى واحد. So he explains here. So they will be given to drink from رحيق, which is a drink which has no intoxicating effect. That has been stated by Imam Akhfash and Imam Az-Zajjaj. Another opinion, it says Rahiq is al-khamru safiya, pure wine. You know, pure as in not the intoxicating thing where you are drunk and taking one step forward and three steps back. Not that pure. Yeah, if they talk pure wine, it's like, you're just not drinking those cheap wines where they've which isn't exactly wine, where they've thrown brasso and everything all in, and spirits and stuff, and it burns your lips like that. And we're not talking about that sort of thing, but we're talking here wine which is pure. It has no filth in it. It has no urine smell in it. It's got no intoxicating effect in it. That is what is being referred to as pure. Today, people talk pure alcohol, vodka, that sort of thing. That's not what is being referred to at all. And it's mentioned in As-Sihah that Ar-Rahiqu Safwatul Khamr. That Rahiq is like the purest part of alcohol, the chosen part of it, if you were to put it in that sense. But once again, he says, wal ma'na wahidun. Then it's synonyms. All three means the same thing. It is that pure, clean wine, which is unlike the wine of this world. It is not an intoxicating, dirty, filthy, stinking thing that takes your sense away from you, but it is something pure that will be kept for the believers on the day, or at least not the day of Qiyamah, but in Jannah itself. Al-Khalilu asfal khamri wa ajwaduha. That's basically what I just said now, the best and the cleanest part of khamr. وقال مقاتل وغيره هي الخمر العتيقة البيضاء الصافية من الغش النيرة. قال حسان يسقون من ورد البريس عليهم بردا يصفق بالرحيق السلسلي. وقال آخر أم لا سبيل إلى الشباب وذكره أشهى إلي من الرحيق السلسلي. Okay, so yeah, you're just quoting two poems just to show the usage of rahiq in classical Arabic or Ayami Jahiliya, at least let me put it that way. So it is that, that pure, white, clean alcohol, which has not transparent vodka, but clean, white, which is free from any intoxicating effects and stuff of the same sort. Okay, moving on, he says, مختوم ختامه مسك. قال مجاهد يختم به آخر جرعة. So Imam Mujahid, he says that the last, let's say you're drinking it, so you've taken 1, 2, 3 sips, or gulps, or however you're going to drink it, but the last bit that you drink from the glass, that will wash over you. It will come, the last bit of the glass that you drink will leave you with a taste of musk. وقيل المعنى إذا شربوا هذا الرحيق ففني ما في الكأس إن ختم ذلك بخاتم المسك. وكان ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه يقول يجدون عاقبتها طعم المسك. Okay, so the next one, yeah, it says the meaning is that when they drink this wine, ففني ما في الكأس, and they finished what is in the glass, إن ختم ذلك بخاتم المسك. It will be sealed with a seal of musk. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he said that they will find the عاقبتها, the end result of it will be the taste of musk. In other words, like we put it today, an aftertaste. They will drink this wine and the aftertaste will be musk. You know, if you back in the day when you had these different type of drinks, and you can have a musk flavored drink, or you know, you have lemon and mint flavored drink, so you drink and you taste the lemon, and when you're done you say, you know, I do taste the mint. A slight example, but somewhat of an idea that you can get, that you will be drinking one thing and it will have its own unique taste, but when you are done, it will leave you with a taste of musk. So what you can also gain is from this is that your breath will then also smell like musk. You're not going to be people like, what on earth were you just eating now? You know, when somebody drinks a wine, then you can smell the stench from 2 meters away already. So I mean, even kuffar admit to this. The it's like the alcohol seeps through a person's pores, and his whole body begin to stink. These type of things don't exist when you drink the wine of Jannah. So anyway, ونحوه عن سعيد بن جبير وإبراهيم النخعي قال ختامه آخر طعمه وهو حسن لأن سبيل الأشربة أن يكون الكدر في آخرها، فوصف شراب أهل الجنة بأن رائحة آخره رائحة المسك. Okay, so he says the same as mentioned from Imam Sa'id ibn Jubair, Imam Ibrahim al-Nakhai. Both of them, they said that khitam, the end, the seal, it is akhiru ta'amihi, the final taste, the final sip, let's put it this way. And this is a good interpretation because أن سبيل الأشربة, the way that the drinks generally go, أن يكون القدر في آخرها, because you know, like um, in the context of, let me put it in the context this way. If you are a person and you have your tea or your coffee and you are a dipper, so you've dipped your samosa or your bread or whatever it is that you happen to dip, no judgment on what you decide to dip in your thing. So now, you know, you've got all your crumbs, your cheese, your chicken, whatever you were eating, it all fell into your cup as well in the bottom. So you've drank, you've tasted all your coffee normal now like this, but now it's all that sand and crumbs and things like this from the biscuits and the cake and things like in the bottom of your cup over there. So you'll find even some people, they don't drink that last little bit, which is wrong of them, but nonetheless, so it's like this isn't the tea no more. This is now just the leftovers of what had fallen into it. So that's the standard way in the drinks of this world. The what's left in the bottom is never what is good. But here, contrary, when it comes to the case of Jannah, then the last bit that's in there is something which is great as well. So the drink itself was mind blowing, but then Allah still follows it up with something which is beyond the person's expectation. If you had a musk drink, that would have been great on its own. So here you have a drink which is nice, and then it still gets followed up with something which is nice as well too. Okay, and then he mentions also that the smell, meaning you will drink it, and when you're done with it, you'll smell, hey, that's musk, like that. So once again, like I mentioned, your breath will smell like musk as well too. Not that this, by the way, a lot of what most of these things I'm saying here, it's just things I'm saying. It doesn't mean you're gonna smell and stink and stuff like this in Jannah. Everything is only pure. So whether there was a end result of musk or not, nobody was going to be stinking of this or smelling bad of that. Such things don't exist in Jannah. Jannah is a place of all cleanliness and purity and stuff, and there's no dirty smells and body odor and things of that sort in any case. وعن مسروق عن عبد الله رضي الله عنه قال المختوم الممزوج، وقيل مختوم أي ختمت ومنعت عن أن يمسها ماس إلى أن يفك ختامه الأبرار. Okay, so the one opinion over here says مختوم means that it is mixed. mamzuj, it is mixed with musk. So you have that one. But here another opinion says it is makhtum, as in sealed. Today you can buy your, for example, your Steri Stumpy, for example, or any cool drink for that matter, and it's sealed. You break the seal when you open it. If it's open, you're not going to drink from it in any case. So it is khutimat ومنعت عن أن يمسها ماس. It is sealed, and which prevents a person from being able to touch it or put anything into it and anything of the sort. إلى أن يفك ختامها الأبرار. So it comes here sealed cool drinks, let's put it this way, and the pious people will break the seal to be able to drink it. We all understand it today because go in any shop and you're going to buy your cool drink, it's going to be sealed. You're going to open the cap up to drink it. So the pious people, they will open the caps so that they can drink that let's put it this way, the wine, that pure wine of Jannah. So that's what that part is referring to. وقرأ علي وعلقمة وشقيق والضحاك وطاووس والكسائي خاتمه بفتح الخاء والتاء وألف بينهما. قال علقمة: أما رأيت المرأة تقول للعطار اجعل خاتمه مسكا تريد آخره. والخاتم والختام متقاربان في المعنى، إلا أن الخاتم الاسم والختام المصدر. قاله الفراء. Okay, so he says Hazrat Ali, Imam Alqama, Imam Shaqiq, Imam Dhahak, Imam Tawus, Imam Kisai, they read it as Khatamahu Misk. Not Khitamuhu Misk, but Khatamahu Misk. Once again, like I say, keep in mind what I always state. I don't know if this is from the accepted qira'at or not. So, but anyway, so they read it as Khatamahu, with the fatha on the kha, not khi, and watai wal alifu baynahuma, instead of khita, it's now khata. So Imam Al-Qamai says, have you not seen when a woman goes to the perfume seller and she says, ij'al khatamahu miskan, like make the last one, like when you have today these type of expensive ouds, and then they say it's got 3 tones, undertones. First tone is like woody and musk and this, and then it's got the oud in this, and you're talking about one single bottle of attar over here. So like make the last part of it musk, meaning turidu akhirahu. When you're putting so you're going to put in some lavender, maybe for example some lavender and some cherry flavor, and not flavor but smell, and a little bit of musk in as well, that sort of thing. It's a mixture. So he says, but linguistically, khatam and khitam mutaqariban. As you can tell, khatam and khitam, they even look alike. They could have been twins. So they mutaqaribani fil ma'ana. They're close to one another in meaning. Except khatam is the ism and khitam is the masdar. Linguistic terms. And this is stated by Imam Al-Farra. Okay, so we definitely won't be able to finish all of this tonight. So I'll just read this last part here anyway before our time runs out. وفي الصحاح: والختام الطين الذي يختم به. وكذا قال مجاهد وابن زيد: ختم إناؤه بالمسك بدلا من الطين. حكاه المهدوي. Okay, so in الصحاح it mentioned that khitam is the tin that you can say the swale which a person seals with, but in our case we know a seal to be with wax. You take melt your wax and throw it on your letter and put your stamp down on it, and so you seal it. So that's the khitam that is being spoken about. And Imam Mujahid and Imam Ibn Zayd, they said that the container is sealed with musk instead of let's put it this way, I'm using our terms, instead of using wax, musk is used to seal it. This is mentioned by Imam al-Mahdawi. وقال الفرزدق: وبت أفض أغلاق الختام. Okay, they just showing from Imam al-Farazdaq. وقال الأعشى: وأبرزها وعليها ختم. Just khitam and khatam and khatam and all of these things, just showing that different ism, masdar, this, but at the end of the day, the meaning is all one and the same. أي عليها طينة مختومة مثل نفض بمعنى منفوض وقبض بمعنى مقبول. So he shows that khitam and khatam use the same, the way that nafad is in the meaning of manfud and qabad is in the meaning of maqbud. All linguistics in that way. وذكر ابن المبارك وابن وهب واللفظ لابن وهب عن عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه في قوله تعالى ختامه مسك خلطه ليس بخاتم يختم ألا ترى إلى قول المرأة من نسائكم إن خلطه من الطيب كذا وكذا إنما خلطه مسك. Okay, so he says Imam Abdullah ibn Mubarak and Imam Ibn Wahab, they narrate, and the wording is from Imam Ibn Wahab, that Hazrat Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu had interpreted the ayah khitamuhu misk. He says khitamuhu misk, meaning khilta. Khilta means to mix. So laysa bi khatamin yakhtimu. He says it's not a seal that is sealed with, rather it is a mixture that is being spoken about. So he says, don't you see how a woman speaks, of one of your women, in other words, how they speak, in khiltahu, that this perfume is mixed, min at-tibi kada wa kada, in this perfume is this and this and this, so to speak. So innama khiltuhu miskun. So in this case, khitamuhu misk, that's spoken about in the ayah, is that this wine, this pure wine of Jannah, is mixed with musk. Okay, maybe we can finish the last two before the time runs out. Then we can start from the next ayah. قال أبو الدرداء رضي الله عنه شراب أبيض مثل الفضة يختمون به آخر أشربتهم لو أن رجلا من أهل الدنيا أدخل فيه يده ثم أخرجها لم يدق ذو روح إلا وجد ريح طيبها. Hazrat Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, he said, this wine of Jannah, it is a drink which is white. It is like silver in color. يختمون به آخر أشربتهم. It will be like the aftertaste of their drinks. لو أن رجلا من أهل الدنيا, if a man from this world أدخل فيه يده ثم أخرجها, if he were to take his hand and put it in this wine and then take it out, لم يبق ذو روح, there would not be a single living being on the surface of the earth إلا وجد ريح طيبها, but that it would smell it would get the smell of that. Tayyib is not just a smell, but it means a tayyib, which is tayyib, a pure, wonderful smell. So in other words, we all know the smell of musk is nice, as long as people haven't messed and added their own weird things to it. But everybody knows the smell of musk. So it would be such a smell that the entire world, every living being would be able to smell it. That's how powerful the smells and things of Jannah are in comparison to this world. وروى أبي بن كعب رضي الله عنه قال قيل يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما الرحيق المختوم قال غدران الخمر وقيل مختوم في الآنية وهو غير الذي يجري في الأنهار فالله أعلم. It's mentioned from Hazrat Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu. He said, it was said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, what is ar-rahiq al-makhtum? This wine which is makhtum. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said it is the ghudran al-khamr. So, but anyway, he says here that an additional opinion is that it is makhtumun fil aniya. It is the wine which has been put in a container and sealed, and it is not the one which flows in the river. In other words, what is essentially saying over here is that there are two different types of wines in Jannah. There may be millions, but he's giving, so he says you've got your river of wine, you can lay on the banks of the river and drink your wine that way. But like I say, you're not going to be rolling over like a drunkard from that wine. So you have one taste from that one there. And then you've got also the one which you'll get in your sealed bottles. And these ones has this seal of musk on it, or ending taste of musk on it. But he's saying essentially that there are two different wines in that sense. Wallahu a'lam, and Allah knows best. Inshallah, when we get there, we can see, may Allah grant us all Jannah, and then we can see what is what and taste everything as well. But that being said, we end for tonight, inshallah ta'ala. Until next time, we end and we say, wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad, subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.